Vicky Marie, because I'm going to talk about Jay Slater's this case. It's just turning into one of those circuses, isn't it? It's very sad. I just think that was my boy, and it turned into this sort of really weird sort of scenario where nobody knows where the truth is. All the conspiracy theories, some people saying it's a psyops again, like in Nicola Bulley. None of it's real, but I bet it feels pretty real to Jay's parents. It's just, not my dogs are all around me. Just sad, isn't it, when all that happens? But the people that cause all the problems, it isn't the social media as much as the bloody private detectives and the Paul Arnott, the mountaineering expert. That's all gone a bit funny. And then you've got Isla Tranquer, or whatever her name is. We're going to look at her today. She's taken to reporting from bed now. I mean, you couldn't make it up. She's supposed to be a professional journalist. She's lying in bed making TikTok videos. For Christ's sake, excuse me, I shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain because it's definitely not his fault. But honestly, God, I'm gone speechless again. You know what? It's like when I go speechless, it's like because it's just weird. Everything's weird, getting weirder and weirder. So when we're going to start with this, I think I'm going to start with showing you Isla's TikToks from her bed. For goodness sake, professional journalist. I just can't. Don't know what to say about it. Anyway, let's have a look at it, and then you can tell me what you say about it. Now, I'm going to share this TikTok. My TikTok page is a bit funny. Hang on. I'm going to share my TikTok page. Let's see. God, sharing TikTok's a nightmare. Oh, I think it should be sharing now. Let's see then. If I pick that one. Yeah. Isla or Isla, I want to say Isla because that's how we pronounce it in Spanish. Isla Traquer Oficial. Now, honestly, I knew absolutely nothing about Isla Traquer before the Nicola Bulley case. I'd never heard of her. Sorry, Isla, but I because I don't watch Good Morning and all those sort of programs. So I literally didn't even know who she was. And then I remember in the Nicola Bulley case, there were a few things said about her and stuff. And that's the first time I'd ever even heard of her. And now here she is sort of involving herself again in this. So is she a professional journalist or is she a TikToker or is she what is she? What is she? Professional journalists do not make news reports from their bed, do they? Even I don't do that. I'm just a YouTuber. Anyway, let's have a look. So this was, she did one in a dressing gown last week. We've looked at that one where she was in a dressing gown, saying she doesn't normally respond to trolls. On nearly all these videos, she'll say, I don't normally do this, and then she does it. But anyway, so she says she's going to try and post more on TikTok. Let's have a look. Oh, no, that's not the one I want to see. No. I want to see this one. She doesn't use TikTok very much. Can't hear her very well. Can't you hear it? Hang on, let me see. It's not very loud, even for me, to be honest. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's on full. It's on full volume.
Hello, TikTok. Um, I'm really sorry. I don't use TikTok very often, and I'm not very good at navigating it because I'm old. Most of my stuff's on Instagram, but I'm going to try. I appreciate a lot of people are watching all the J stuff on here, so I'm going to make an effort to try and post it here. But it just takes quite a long time for me to upload and to do it on all the different platforms, etc. But I'm going to repost my reports from the last few days and
It's
the
not
long
very
thing that I
loud.
posted earlier, sort of clarifies some of the information. But in addition to that video, there's a few things already I can and point out that I think I do not poo-poo people on TikTok who are making an effort to look up maps, etc., etc. But is it Miss Vodka, someone like that? I did get sent that stuff. That path's been looked at. So how to explain this? There's two slopes. So there's slope one, which is the Airbnb cafes on one side, and then where the cafe is almost like top like a ridge, and then there's the other side, and it goes along. So that path, path that
Can't
she's
pause it
pointing
now.
out and yeah, that is in the conceivable grid area of and Paul and I are actually trying to work all that out. We are doing stuff behind the scenes you don't know about. We're getting call logs. We're trying to basically create a possible kind of map of how far it'd be physically able to go. Bearing in mind his phone died, he could have still walked for some time. But anyway, on the other side, that is where this pin drop or whatever was shown that Lucy had that path has been walked down. Um, the outbuildings were looked at. I believe all that was done early doors. If you look at some of the TV reports, this is before I went out there. It has been done, and then Paul is going to go back and look again. I know that the family were actually up there today. I've got I'm in contact with them. I'm not going to share all my private conversations with them, but I know that they were up along that path. I saw a video actually, and I'm pretty sure that's the same path. Uh, that the drones etc. that have gone over, they can see the path quite clearly. Um, if you look at the Dr. Mosley case, sadly he was found dead recently in Greece. It was a probably a smaller sort of geographical area where he'd gone missing in his walk. Did he go the way that his family, etc., expected that he would go? No. Um, it was a surprise to everyone that he'd gone that way. Had he taken a wrong turn, or did he just decide he was going to walk a bit longer? His body was found incredibly close on the other side of a wall, incredibly close to a hotel resort. So bodies are not that easily to see, and that was a terrain in Greece that didn't have shrubs. He was out in the open, and it still took them however many days. So there is no criticism of drone operators, a helicopter, whatever. It's very difficult to see bodies. And one thing I say in my report is, I can't explain how when you're looking at stuff online and photos and satellite pictures, you cannot see the height. It's like a canopy. If you imagine a forest, it's shorter than a forest. It's taller than me, so I'd say so I'm 5'2", so some of the shrubs are nearly double my height, but at least several feet above. And these are trees, bushes, cacti. It is dense, and you cannot see easily what's underneath, so it does make things difficult. Um, Sorry, I have been on the go non-stop. I've barely slept all week. The night I got to Tenerife, I had 2 hours sleep. Worked all day, got to bed at midnight. Didn't get much sleep, up again early, and then yesterday we worked all day. Our flight got cancelled. We had to go via East Midlands and drive. So I didn't get home till 5 in the morning. I think I had about 2 hours sleep. So, and I've had a migraine. So apologies for this not being particularly clear. I'm lying in my bed with headache still, and I was just trying to upload something now. So you'll have a few videos on here now. So sorry, TikTok. I'm just not very. I'm going to try and be better, but it might be worthwhile going on to my Instagram because I just find that easier to navigate and post things. Hello,
What?
TikTok.
Oh, do you know you can't bloody
I'm really
pause
sorry, I
these?
don't
I
use
cannot
TikTok very
pause
often.
this video. It's really annoying. Anyway, I'll have to come up. So, what do you make of that? Honest to God, I think that I'm in my parallel universe again. When you have a supposedly professional journalist, 1 minute they're doing a TikTok video in the dressing gown, that was bad enough. Now she's lying in bed. What will she be doing next? Doing it in the bath. We should be having a shower and doing a TikTok video, or, you know, sunbathing outside in the garden, or lying in the bath, or sitting on the loo. I mean, come on. I mean, she's had 110,000 views, though. That's why she's doing it. She's realised that if she goes on TikTok, she's going to get loads of views, isn't it? I suppose. I don't know. Just crazy. And what is this weird relationship between her and the well, is he a mountaineer? Don't think he is a mountaineer now. What's this weird relationship between her and Paul? You know, he's like practically drooling over her, how fantastic she is. And anyway, she's flown back out today. They could be in bed together now for the next video, for all we know. I mean, honest to God, I just think, what is going on? What is going on? Anyway, so she's uploaded a couple of TikTok videos. I haven't followed her yet on Tik. I can't bring myself to follow her because you can just go and find her videos. But so this was another one. As I said, I don't know how to pause these. Just won't pause. Oh, that one's paused. So apparently there's blood on the steps. Lots of speculation about there being blood on the step. I stood and took this video on Wednesday. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh, now it won't stop. You know, I'm not enjoying this TikTok at all. Oh,
Hello,
shut up. Now it's gone back to the... what the hell's going on? It's gone back to another video. Like, let's go back to this. Look, there's the blood. You see the blood where a foot went? I feel like I live in that place now. I've seen so much footage. Oh, it just feels like my back garden. Yeah, when she steps down there, so there's supposed to be blood on the steps. So this is, of course, a professional journalist who's saying TikTokers are irresponsible, social media in the Nicola Bulley case, and blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And she's doing exactly this. Ooh, blood on the steps. You know, ooh. Honest to God, I'm just like... Anyway, here's another video.
Just so you can see, this is where we're going to do live from. That's the Airbnb, and this is the road he walked along. And this is kind of showing you where he could try and cut up and sneak up bits. Just so you can see, this is where we're going to do live from. That's the Airbnb, and this is the road he walked along. And this is kind of showing you where he could try and cut up.
I just feel at the moment it's making Mark Williams Thomas look really professional. But anyway, let's have a look at another one.
Breathtakingly beautiful, but deadly. these hairpin bends. Look at them. Wow. Wow. Literally a hairpin bend.
So that's the road that Jay supposedly was walking along. And at some point, he's gone off the road, or supposedly. Now, these videos, they are useful, aren't they? I do like to see the videos of the area. I've enjoyed those videos of Paul's, even though he's started to get on my nerves because I watched probably his loads of subscribers saying, please, no more videos of Paul. But, you know, they are useful. These videos are useful. Just like this is useful. It is useful to see the area.
Wow. Wow.
That does look quite nice, doesn't
Literally
it?
a hairpin bend.
Oh, bearing in mind 2 men that had been out drinking all night drove him home there in the early hours of the morning. I don't know how they got there. You know, if they'd been taking drugs or drunk or whatever. Let me just come back to the chat. No, they're not Somalian, Heather. I don't think. I think one of them at least was black. You know, that was like almost a. Oh, don't you know? We don't know. Those men have been cleared by the police. The police have said they've got nothing to do with it. What now? Whether they have or not, who knows? They're from Luton, aren't they, or somewhere? Was it Luton? I can't remember. But anyway. It's just crazy, isn't it? The whole thing's crazy. And now Isla Traquair turning into a TikToker that she's been whinging about TikTokers ever since the Nicola Bulley case, and now she suddenly realised she can get 138,000 views, so she's going to be a TikToker.
Hello again, TikTok. Sorry about the state of me. I still haven't had enough sleep and still have migraine. And I'm not going to reply to every single thing in the comments.
I can't pause these videos. It's driving me mental. Why not? Why can I not pause?
Go and watch my. I don't know if I've posted. Oh no, I have posted on here. The interview with Brad. So my interview with Brad's actually 15 minutes long, but for television and limited time, I think we only showed 2 minutes of it. And I was with Brad and the family the day before, and then obviously did the interview with them as well. Just to be clear, Brad had passed all his information on. Everyone was interviewed by the police, and the police won't speak directly with me. They don't, and it's also. It doesn't matter if it's in Britain or in Tenerife. They don't sit and discuss everything with journalists. They're doing their job. I don't know if they realised the significance of him explaining, oh, well, when I was on the video to him, I could hear him slipping. This was all told. It could have been lost in translation as well. And let's remember, understanding a northern accent with Spanish translators.
I can't believe I can't stop this. I've got to stop it. Right. So first of all, she keeps saying, hang on, let me come off it a minute. So she keeps saying, oh, just excuse the state of me, like when she was lying in bed. It's like, oh, sorry, I'm lying in bed. Because you're not sorry. She does it again later. She's in a dressing gown in two videos. So it's not an accident. I think, does she think she's being more authentic because it's TikTok? You know, is she trying to get more authentic? I mean, it just comes over as so false. I'm sorry, the whole thing. So then she's saying, oh, you know, about the police and has what Brad had to say got lost in translation and, you know, understanding the northern accent and this, that and the other. In other words, she hasn't got a clue because the police aren't communicating anything to Isla, just like they're not communicating anything to Mark Williams Twonk. The police are not interested in speaking to her or Mark Williams. They don't speak to Spanish journalists, so they're certainly not going to speak to some pseudo serious journalist. I just think she's just lost all her. I mean, I didn't know much about her in the first place, to be honest. As I said, never even heard of her before the Nicola Bully case. But now, this is just crackers.
Hello again, TikTok. Sorry about the state of me. I still haven't had enough. To get everything else to fit, including a stranger who sees him and locations and phone pings and a genuine video call to his mate at a particular time. I don't think anyone can pull that off, and particularly in such a short space of time. Um, if someone was trying to cover something up, would they report them missing so early, or would they wait most of the day, which you could legitimately do? Say, oh, we just thought he'd turn up and he still hasn't turned up. Would you wait? Would you go on TV and suggest that the British police get involved? I'm talking about the interview with Lucy. Um, you know, would you go on and encourage that? I think that's highly unlikely. I'm not ruling out all the options of could he have been picked up by a car. I mean, an obvious thing would be he'd go on the road and try and hitchhike if we hadn't known about any of these phone calls, video calls where it was a video call with Brad. I believe it was a phone call, an audio call with Lucy. I'm trying to establish that, and I'm going to try and contact her. Um, we know he's off the road. He is off the road for both those calls. But if we didn't know about that, and if you were doing a search with, just knowing where he was walking last, it would be a pretty strong hypothesis that he could have tried to get a lift and got, unfortunately, got in the car with someone with ill intentions. And as I've said multiple times, as unpalatable as it is for anyone to think about what might happen if someone's abducted, his family want any option where he could still be alive, rather than, they know. And I had
Oh,
a
and
really, really difficult conversation,
I can't pause the bloody
with his
thing.
family, and
All the
I
gulping
had
and
to
the
go through it and say,
oh, it's just awful. This.
if they
I
ask
tell you
me,
what, I'm going on
if he's
TikTok
most likely
tomorrow
thing
from
is,
my
if he's
bed.
fallen and hurt himself, we know you can't survive that. If he'd just hurt his leg or something and was conscious, um, there's enough people up there that there's the cafe on the hillside where I stand on the platform and say explain live locations. The cafe there and opens at 10 o'clock. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people go up and park right up at that top section where either side he could be, which I think it's likely he's on either side. He would have been heard if he'd been able to shout. People would have heard him. It's not a road. That section of the road, there are people out of their cars. They get out and take pictures. And if someone had been shouting for help, so again, I really don't like speculating, but if he hurt himself to the point where he's unconscious, if he's bashed his head, even if he's not that far off the road, he wouldn't be able to call for help. So, that sadly, my thought is that he's probably fallen and hurt himself to a point where he can't, um, yeah, can't call for help, and you can't survive that. Um, if you've watched Paul's videos, I'm sure in some of them you see him slip. In fact, when he came with me. I met him. I'd been trying to get in contact with him before I got to Tenerife, and then we met him on the road. It was, good luck that we did that. And I took him and I showed him, and we got him actually. We didn't show this on the report, but I got him to go up a bit just to see, look, can you go around that section there? So he starts going up, and there's a bit of rock. So, and he can boulder. I boulder as well. I didn't attempt to boulder because I've got long nails, so I'm not going to go and look for him. It's not safe. It's against health and safety rules for my job as well. But he did a little bit, and the rock face just crumbles away. It's like it's so brittle. Even bits that look quite sturdy, it would be extremely dangerous. And also, Jay is not going to start rock climbing, and bouldering is what I call it. Bouldering's when you don't have ropes and you're using your grip and your feet to climb up a rock face. So we have to think intuitively and sensibly about the most likely thing that he would do, and that's why Paul and I are speaking a lot and doing, he's looking where he thinks more sensible. The police are out there. They're not all going into they're not searching in these dense bits on a the normal cops. They have had specialists up there, and the same in Britain. Another point to point out: a lot of people criticizing the police. Why aren't the British police going out? British police are not allowed to go up mountains, even in the UK. If something they are not, that's out with their remit of being safe. So mountain specialists go up. So there's very few people that have gone off piste, if you like, into this dense area. But Paul and I are talking all the time, and he's going to look in those areas. Um, and we're trying to look in the most sensible areas, but even the most sensible areas that are close by the dense bush, it is very, very, very difficult to see. The drones cannot see. um, I don't know if you can see it in the video on TV. I think you can. When I'm wearing the green blouse and I go up that bit, as soon as I go past the bush, you can't see me. I'm wearing a bright green shirt and you cannot see me. um, so Paul is doing all he can. Paul is doing all he can, and the police have looked in that area, and they're, for volunteers and his family were looking in that area as well. So it's just really, really difficult to see anything. So, oh my gosh, I've prattled on for 13 minutes now. I'm not intending on doing this every day. I'm just trying to sort of quell some of the stuff. And
She's
thank you
not going to
for
do
every
this
people
every
saying,
day,
that they've found it helpful and I'm talking sense and I'm
but she
trying my
does
best
do
to
it
talk
every
sense on
day.
behalf. I am Scottish, clearly, and since very early on in my career, I've had to do stories about missing climbers up in the Cairngorms, etc. Um, and I know how tricky it is. Um, my very first case of a missing climber, actually, um, he's an experienced climber, and we know where his car was, and blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. And his body wasn't found for a long time, and he wasn't walking through a terrain like this. And as I said about Dr. Mosey, I think it's a really good example of his body was out in the open, right next to a resort, and it was he was there for 5 days, and it's not that easy to find them. So I am praying and praying and praying and praying he's alive, but I'm praying and praying and praying if he's not alive, I really hope that his family are given closure. They are able to retrieve a body so that they can put an end to this, because the speculation and stuff is really upsetting. Oh yes, and people saying things like, if the family were out talking and communicating more. No, do you know what they're going through? It is not their job to go on TV and talk to you and tell you what's going on. They are dealing with the worst thing that's ever, ever happened in their life. Leave them be. His poor mum, because of the press, because of speculation, she can't go out there. She'd be surrounded by them like sharks. Leave her alone. Um, I spent a lot of time with her. I believe her. I don't believe she's involved in some cover up. In the nicest way possible. If you had a family full of, you know, Einstein rocket scientists, they wouldn't be able to pull off. And Debbie's an intelligent woman. She works in finance. But I'm saying for an entire family and group to all be part in some sort of big conspiracy and GoFundMe and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and honestly, I'm getting really angry about the GoFundMe stuff. Every single case of a missing person, or any case of a family that have to go abroad, or there's distress or whatever, there's GoFundMe's. It's a absolute automatic thing to do. If you look at Madeleine McCann,
Oh,
when
yeah,
she went
let's
missing,
look
there
at
was money
Madeline
raised,
McCann.
publicly. I don't think GoFundMe existed, but money was raised publicly to donate to help them. Um, there's a family I dealt with in the States, and their daughter went missing in Peru, and they had a GoFundMe, and overnight it raised a huge amount of money. And 4 years on, still not found their daughter. They're still using that money to pay for lawyers, private detectives, and they're keeping some aside. And sorry to be, but if she's found for a second post-mortem, to get a body taken back. So these really annoying people, just shut up. Just leave them alone, for God's sake. Oh, but are they going to give it back? Which charity? They haven't spent any of the money yet, but they will need to. They can't afford to be. They've all dropped their jobs. They're out there, and they are helping the police on a daily basis. You're not going to get them being filmed going down. That's too distressing for them to do. It's dangerous. The family have been out looking. It's not been filmed. They have been out looking. I know because I've seen. But just everyone, just please leave them alone. Right, my head is going to explode. I've not had enough sleep.
Yeah, all our heads are going to
17
explode,
minutes in.
Isla.
Goodbye, TikTok.
Yeah, her head's going to explode. I think she's made our heads explode, to be honest. Honest to God, this is just ridiculous. But, it's just making a mockery of everything, I think. Let's have a look at this one.
It's going beyond the armchair, and people are actually going there. And I will get onto that in a minute, because some of them are actually legitimate, have mountaineering experience, might be helping.
Oh,
but there's a lot of people who aren't.
Yeah, I can't watch this because it's Good Morning, and they always come up with copyright. Anything you show from Good Morning Britain. But did you hear what she said there? She was whinging about the TikTokers there again. Except there's one with mountaineering experience, meaning her little Amighetti, Paul. There's something weird going on there, because she's all for him, but all of the TikTokers are shit, but not Paul. He's great, and he's got experience, and he's fantastic. But all of the TikTokers are rubbish. And she's now a TikToker, but she's not rubbish, because she's a professional journalist who does TikTok videos from her bed. Let's have a look at this one.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Lights crumble down when the truth comes out. Yeah, this is just the beginning. Lights crumble down when the truth comes out.
This is nothing to do with Jay Slater. This is everything to do with Isla and Paul. Honest to God, it's just starting. It's nothing to do with finding Jay Slater. None of this. It's all about her own personal. Same with Mark Williams Twonk. So apparently, somebody on a Twitter post that Blank Faces, Blank Faces, she's one of our members on the Let's Chat. And she quite often comes on my streams, and of course she's got her own channel. So she found a tweet from Mark Williams Thomas. Somebody had tweeted him and said, "Why don't you get in touch with this Paul, this mountaineer?" And he said, "Oh, I've tried to contact him, but he's not answering." Well, he isn't going to answer Mark Williams Twonk, because this is his the love of his life, Isla Tronquer, or whatever her name is. He's not going to be interested in Mark, because Mark and Isla, why don't they get together? They're all, God, that'd be my worst nightmare, that, wouldn't it? It'd be like if, oh God, it could be Mark Williams Thomas and Isla in bed together doing a video. Oh my God, it's just getting crazy. Are they all going to come on and do a video together? And in the meantime, a boy's missing in the mountains, and it's all about them. It's all about them. Right, let's have a look at this one. Now, this is the latest one she's done in her bed, and she's really tired, guys. And she's going to Tenerife, and she's so tired. Sorry about the state of her again.
Good morning. You guys are relentless, my goodness. Different experience on TikTok. Anyway, first of all, Paul is alive and well. He's fine. Do not worry. He had to change his phone yesterday, and he's not a 24-hour rolling news channel. He also does need a break. He's absolutely exhausted, that guy. I mean, I can't, you see his videos. He is the main person searching.
He's the main person.
Yeah, anyway, you get it. You've watched him. I'm going back out to Tenerife today.
Should be back in Tenerife
just quickly,
now.
some of the stuff, I'm being sent so much stuff. I was up till 3 in the morning again. I did not get a break yesterday. Just to the video that everyone keeps referring me to of the beach, and the audio related to that.
That's not a real video of Jay.
That video was taken several days after. And someone is cleverly, if you put different text in a caption, you'll...
Yeah, you know, this is just the beginning.
I don't like it. Oh, it's getting on my nerves.
Good morning.
Hang on. Let me just wait a minute. I can't commentate on it because it won't let me pause the video. It just plays the video. I can't seem to pause it. I think in future of these TikTok videos, I'm going to have to record them first and then play them so that I can comment on them, because I need to comment on them. So, yeah. So this video that's on the beach of supposedly Lucy and Jay, that's a load of rubbish. It is a load of rubbish. And it's, you know, the thing is, what you've got to be really careful of, there's so many horrible YouTube channels out there that really just don't give a shit what they put on, as long as they put out this rubbish and everybody, they get all their views and everything. And unfortunately, there are some channels like that. And I hate it because they give other people a bad name. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just a channel where I just chat with my chatters, but I don't, you know, make things up just to get people to watch or to get people to listen. You know, I hate those things. You know, that is one thing that I do agree with Mark Williams Thomas. There's a lot of fake videos out there and photos and texts. You know, like, so oh, this is a text that Lucy sent to whatever. Anybody could go on Facebook, make a false account calling themselves Lucy, use her photo, and then send texts or send messages or a WhatsApp account. You know, it's so easy to fake things. And I think, unfortunately, in cases like this, when there's all this mystery surrounding them, people literally, they've got nothing better to do. I think they must all be unemployed or something. Have they got the time to sit there and make all these videos? And why would they do it? I don't know. But that particular video on the beach is definitely not true. It's not real.
Good morning. It's not a 24-hour rolling news channel.
Oh yeah, and did you hear at the start there where she's saying about Paul? Don't worry about Paul. He's not a 24-hour rolling news channel. Suddenly, I mean, he's been practically a 24-hour TikTok channel, hasn't he? Putting all those videos up one after the other. But now, no, don't worry about him. But he's not a 24-hour news channel. You know, you must leave him alone. You know, and just crackers. Just crackers. It's just so weird. It's beyond weird. This.
Good morning.
It's beyond weird.
You guys are relentless. He's not. Yeah. Anyway, you get it. You've watched him. I'm going back out to Tenerife today. But just quickly, some of the stuff, I'm being sent so much stuff. I was up till 3 a.m. again. I did not get a break yesterday. Just to the video that everyone keeps referring me to of the beach, and the audio related to that. That video was taken several days after, and someone is cleverly, if you put different text in a caption, you'll hear that exactly. I'll find out the person that did it. Someone did a really, really good example. There's a lot of AI stuff out there that people are sending me. I have been sent a lot of, could this be a body in the background? Look, I'm grateful for these things. But one thing I'll tell you about the have I seen a body in the background? Look at the scale. Because people are, there's a name for it, forgotten what it's called, but when you start seeing things because you want to see them, look at the scale. If you were to draw a stick man of a human, look at the scale of what's around. Bearing in mind, those cacti and bushes are absolutely huge. Remember, they are bigger than me. So think about that, because I am trying to read messages. There's absolutely no way I can respond to everyone. Yeah, I've been inundated and on the multiple platforms which I'm trying to keep across. Anyway, I'm off to Tenerife today. It's a long journey. I will keep people posted, but I'm not replying to you all. I'm trying to think. There's been so many things, little things that people are picking up on that I need to just. With regards to Brad, when he said he'd just come out, he wasn't meaning literally he just left it at that moment when he got the call. He's meaning I'm just out of a festival. I'm not thinking about danger or my mates just and as I said in the video, my interview with him is 15 minutes long, and that is edited. I think there was 3 question answers that should have been or originally were, you know, in complete flow, but we needed to the answer about the sliding down the hill was at a different point in the interview, and nothing's changed in meaning, but I had to ask, right, phone up, right, I need that one as well, make sure you can get that in. And then they filmed my questions are real, but I had to record them again from the other side. That is how television works, unless you've got a multiple camera shoot. Brad's eye contact and everything, this is a young lad, it's his first time doing a TV interview, having to look at a woman in the eye. His eye contact was excellent, and not too much. If there's too much, they're not telling the truth. I genuinely trust Brad, and I genuinely believe him to be truthful, so leave that guy alone. I'm trying to think of other stuff. A lot of people are sending me, oh, this location, this location. Please be clear, if you look on the map where the Hilda Cafe is up at the top, that is like the top of that area. Both sides of that have been searched, and the path and the outbuildings, that's been searched. If he's fallen, I believe likelihood is he is on one of those sides, more likely the other side of Hilda because of the downhill thing now. Once again, it is extremely difficult terrain. It's extremely difficult terrain, and you can't even access all the bits on foot. There's a lot more things going on behind the scenes. Paul's just messaged me now. He'll be glad. I'm sure he's probably already told you he's alive. It's not my job to let you guys know every single second of the day what's going on, but we'll keep posted. Please just send me things that are legitimate. Don't send me AI videos of ransom stuff, and, you know, use your heads. But I'm grateful. Good morning. You guys are relentless.
So,
my goodness.
Sorry that I couldn't pause these and commentate. That's she's suddenly cottoned onto TikTok now. Isla, I think we can expect a lot more TikTok videos in bed from Isla. We might get a video in bed from her tonight in Tenerife, or maybe even in the morning, or maybe even, as I say, maybe a video with Paul in bed. Who knows? Oh my God, you just could not make this crap up. You just could not make it up. So what she's saying to people there on TikTok, oh yeah, carry on sending me things, but don't send me any AI generated stuff or any this, that, or the other. As if anyone's going to listen to that. There's people out there, they'll be putting AI stuff together as we speak. You're like, oh, I'm going to send Isla this, see what she makes of this. I'm going to do, of course they will, because they're idiots. Hello, Riley. You just cannot, you can't account for stupid people that just enjoy causing all this trouble and everything, instead of just leaving it. Because if there is something untoward, the police will find out what's untoward. I'm 100% certain. You must not think that the police are stupid or something. Anyway, so I just want to show you briefly now what Paul's been up to on his Facebook videos, because he's been very quiet, of course, and most of the things he's put on there have been about Isla. This is so weird, this whole thing. Is there a little romance, a fledgling romance, maybe likes older women? She's just about 10 years older than him, which is fine. I've got no problem with age differences. Well, as long as they're over the age of consent, obviously. But, for a guy of 28, 29 and a woman of 40, fair enough, I think. I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever. But I just think the whole thing's a bit weird. Let's have a look. What he's got. So first thing Look, 6 hours ago, he put that video on his Facebook. In fact, that's the last post he put on. You know, he's definitely in love with Isla. And yeah, well, I thought there was another one than that. I thought he had another one than that on there, because we looked at this one yesterday. This is the one where he went in the garage and for a SIM card, and then he came out all angry saying, "Oh, they don't sell the SIM cards." You know, but that's all he's done today. Then I thought there was another one on there, but no, it's just this, because Isla's coming. Isla's coming to Tenerife. So I expect tomorrow there will be some videos of the two of them. I don't know, but I don't know for sure. But she's like copying him now, isn't it? You know, like he's all, "Oh, today's been really stressful and I've been attacked by a cactus, and the search guy, I've lost my phone and I've lost my keys and I've broke my sunglasses. So if you find an iPhone, it might be mine." You know, never even mentioned Jay. It might be Jay's iPhone. If somebody finds a phone, let's hope it's Jay's, and then they might find Jay. So he said he broke his sunglasses. So talking of broken sunglasses, of course, there was I've got to find it now. But broken sunglasses were found, weren't they, by the other TikToker, the guy Christopher from Tenerife. Let's see. I've got this here somewhere. I've got a picture of the sunglasses somewhere, but I've got that many windows open as always. Right, it's not that one. Right, here we go. So this other TikToker, this is the Canarian Weekly. This is an English newspaper in Tenerife, or a British newspaper, I should say. British expat finds a clue that could be linked to the disappearance of Jay Slater in Tenerife. Look, this is what he found, these sunglasses. Well, maybe they were Paul's. I don't know. They weren't Paul's because he found them before Paul broke his. But, you know, it makes you wonder, there's probably loads of people have broken the sunglasses there. So that's what he found. He found these sunglasses. Do they look like Jay's, do you think? They look a little bit like Jay's. You look at Jay's sunglasses here, they're quite big, aren't they? Quite big. They could be Jay's. What do you all think? So the case of Jay Slater, the 19-year-old who disappeared in Tenerife over 2 weeks ago, has taken a new turn after the discovery of a pair of sunglasses very similar to those he was wearing when he was last seen. They were found by a British resident of the island whilst walking close to the search area around Masca. Chris Pennington is a 43-year-old former British Army reservist living on the island who told the Daily Mail that he saw them near the spot where Jay's last mobile signal was recorded. Oh my God, I've just realised I didn't play the Welcome to the Family song yet. I'll do that in a minute. I've got a special new song as well. I can't believe I forgot that. I parked at a viewing point near the place where the phone rang for the last time and found them on the ground near some bushes in the area where they'd been searching. They were about 50 metres from the road near a tunnel, he explained. I was part of the search for Jay on Sunday, June the 30th. The terrain is impossible. Unless you've experienced it, you wouldn't understand it. There's a very high probability that the glasses have nothing whatsoever to do with him. However, if you're searching the area and find something, how can you not report it? Well, of course, you've got to bloody report it. I mean, talk about stating the bleeding obvious. You know, you search in the area, you find something, of course you report it. You don't have to even mention that, do you? I'm not in the mood for twonks now. I'm a bit twonked out with Isla and Paul. After finding them, he says he notified the Guardia Civil and followed their instructions. He wrapped them in paper before handing them over for analysis to avoid compromising any possible forensic evidence. And when he handed them over to the agents, he says they took his DNA, his fingerprints, and a statement. The police search for Jay Slater was called off then last Sunday, a decision that has come to a blow to his parents and brother, who have met with officials in Playa de las Americas to discuss the next steps. Despite the lack of evidence of criminality, investigations are continuing. Investigating Judge Maria Goya has been informed of the events and has been notified that the Guardia Civil sees no indications of a crime at this time. However, the judicial investigation remains open, leaving room for any possible new developments. So we have to remember that the police have not closed the inquiry just because they've stopped searching. Doesn't mean to say they've. Is this where he found the sunglasses? So there you go. Are they anything to do with Jay? The police have taken all the DNA and everything, so we'll see. Right, what's the next thing I want to show? So then in the meantime, the police have been back, haven't they? Been back to the B&B, the Airbnb, apparently, and take the forensics, people are saying, but I don't know if we know for sure it was the forensics. They had their sort of boots on and stuff. Let me just turn, as I say, I'm just turning off some. Just turning off some windows or closing down some windows. What's this? Right, let's get that TikTok window down. I didn't like the TikTok because it wouldn't let me. Okay, so on Twitter, The Sun reporting Jay Slater cops spend 2 hours in the holiday flat that the British teen vanished from as the mystery investigation continues. So this was that last snapshot that supposedly was outside the Airbnb. Remember, that's where she said she saw blood, but look, you can see those spots are already there on the steps. If this was Jay, those spots that were on the steps, they were already there. So it's not, presuming that this is Jay. So a lot of people have made a big thing about this photo, haven't they? Said they can see a black foot under her. Oh, you know what? It's just ridiculous. Some of the things that people have said, that the foot looks black. So these black men pretend, that have done something to Jay, etc. But I don't know. And then talking about this coloured material. People have said ridiculous things, haven't they?
30 a.m. Jay then tried to make his way back to his holiday accommodation about an 11-hour walk
Let's
away.
go back to the beginning of this.
Forensic police have spent 2 hours in the Airbnb that Jay Slater stayed in with 2 men, just hours before he vanished. After going to a rave in Playa de las Americas, Jay went to Mass.
No, that was him dancing at the rave, bless him. Well, I tell you what, whatever. I hope he had a good time. Look, he's got his sunglasses on there, look.
With 2 British men he had met that night in the early hours. The 19-year-old shared a final snapshot from their Airbnb of a hand holding a cigarette at 7:30 a.m. Jay then tried to make his way back to his holiday accommodation about an 11-hour walk away. But at around 8:50 a.m, he made a final frantic call to his friend Lucy, telling her he was lost in the middle of nowhere with no water and had just 1% battery on his phone. Since then, a major search for Jay was launched.
To me, all this comes down to the fact either you believe what Lucy and Brad say or not. Lucy said he phoned in, he was panicked, and his phone was running out of battery and he was quite anxious. Whereas when he phoned Brad beforehand, he was making a joke of it, wasn't he? And oh God, look where I am and that. And to me, it all just makes sense. I have no reason to not believe them. But it could turn out that, they are talking a load of rubbish. It won't be the first time that people lie. So it could be. But to me, it just all seems logical. to be honest.
Involving drones, sniffer dogs, and helicopters. But after almost 2 weeks, police dramatically called off the search on Sunday. However, today, 2 plainclothed officers wearing blue forensic-style shoe coverings were sent to scan the £40 a night, 2-bedroom cottage called Casa Abuelatina for clues. The owner of the Airbnb where the men stayed said she'd given all the information she had to the police. Ophelia Hernandez, who owns the holiday let, revealed they were friendly, booked several days at the cottage, and spent a lot of time inside the property. She also said that she saw Jay walking off on his own uphill in the vast mountainous area near Masca. Forensic police have spent 2 hours in the Airbnb that...
So she said forensic police have spent 2 hours. I think there's only 2 of them, but we're going to look at the Telegraph one. The other thing is, so not only you'd have to think Brad's lying, Lucy's lying, the Spanish woman's lying that said she saw him twice. Are they all lying then? Why are they all in it together? It doesn't make sense to me. Lucy's lying, Brad's lying, and the Spanish woman, what's she got to do with anything? To assume that Brad was never there at that Airbnb is to presume that Spanish woman was lying, and why would she lie? So it just doesn't make sense to me that they're all lying. Because they're not, you can see how Brad and Lucy could be in it together because they know each other. But I don't see where the Spanish woman who saw him or says she saw him, I don't believe she was lying because she's just like a woman from the Pueblo. So that's why I don't believe in it. But, in the conspiracy side of it all. But as I say, who knows what might come out as time goes on. We just don't know. But anyway, the Daily Express says, police carry out a forensic search at rural Airbnb in the hunt for the missing teenager. So this is one of the forensic unit officers, apparently, leaving the holiday scene. So 2 men in plain clothes believed to be forensic officers. Now notice that, believed to be forensic officers, descended on the rural Masca area on the morning of July the 2nd and was seen inside the holiday rental apartment where Jay Slater spent a few hours before his disappearance. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not going to tell any journalists who they are or what they're doing there. The men were spotted leaving the property with forensic-style blue slip-ons over their shoes. But they weren't, they're not wearing a hazmat suit or anything. It's not a forensic team, like you see on the telly. They had some on their shoes, but you don't know why. It's probably they just didn't want to contaminate the floor or something, because just in case something comes up in the future. Who knows why they were there? We don't know, do we, why they were there? They were then seen taking the cover off their shoes and then speaking to a local who had let them into the holiday home. Approached when they were standing near an orange-coloured Kia Sportage SUV, one of the men said, "I'm not authorised to speak to you. I've been inside. If you want any information, speak to the press office in Santa Cruz." They won't talk. They just won't. It's just pointless trying to get them to talk. So Jay, a 19-year-old from Oswaldtwistle in Lancashire, had arrived at the holiday rental named Casa Abuelatina in the early hours and spent a few hours there with the 2 British men, blah, blah, de blah. It seems like those men went to bed and Jay, he was still buzzing and he just wanted to go home. It's still my hypothesis. It's still my hippopotamus until anything changes it. Nothing that I've seen so far has changed what I think. There's nothing, there's no one has convinced me that there's anything more to it yet, but can change. So, that's just, so although the Spanish police have ended the search operation, we do have to remember that the investigation is ongoing. They're not just going to leave it. So when they say a forensic team, it was 2 guys with blue, with those blue things on their feet. It wasn't a proper forensic team. Joe, the mainstream media are worse than social media, I think, for, getting things, exaggerating things. Now, somebody else sent me this, so I'm going to leave quite a few articles that people have sent me, which is great. You know, each article, so some of them have a little bit of extra stuff in it. Some of them, like that one, at the end of the day, they're not a proper forensic. You know, they made it sound at first, oh, forensic team. This, you know, you could imagine them going in like in their big full suits and their, you know, with all their stuff. And it was just a guy dressed in his jeans. They just put those boot things on for whatever reason over their feet. That's the only thing they put on. Maybe they didn't want to get the floor dirty. Maybe they've been walking in the mountains and they had mud all over the boots. I mean, we just don't know. Okay, but we will find out. I do feel we will find out one day. I hope so. Hope it's sooner rather than later. Okay, what's the other thing? Oh, I've done that one. Hang on. Let me just got to put that. I've done the sunglasses. What was the next? So this was another article someone sent me, which I did think was quite interesting, but you know, it's something and nothing. This is the Chronicle Live, whatever newspaper that is. What does it say? What does it say? Major clue in Jay Slater's last phone call, described as significant in the search. So what's that, I wonder? His last phone call has been described as a major clue. Well, of course it's a major clue. I think this is just because he said he was slipping down the slope. So the final phone call made by Jay Slater before his disappearance has been identified as a significant clue in the search for the missing teenager. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I don't want to read the whole story out again. So the civil guard officers considered the details Jay shared with Lucy crucial in locating him in the rural mountainous region before they officially ended their search yesterday, after nearly 2 weeks. So he informed reporters that Jay cutting his leg on a cactus indicated he must have left the main road and ventured into the hilly terrain, because there's no cactuses along the road. So to get spiked by a cactus, he has to have left the road. And he said he obviously had to enter the mountains, but of course they've not found him. So he says Masca's been looked at, the Juan Lopez Ravine, the Retamar Ravine, Las Eneas Ravine, Los Carrizales Ravines, all the areas we know he's been in because his mobile phone coverage is undeniable and places in there. But we have a difficulty, which is that once the phone goes off, the antennas stop picking it up. So it sounds like they've followed him as far as they can until his phone has finally conked out. So that while he's walking, and we don't know how long he was walking for, no phone mast is going to detect it. And as the technicians tell us, they look for mobiles and not people. So we're at that point as well. We have certain information and we have to go on that. So he said the clues are based on the information we have. Another of the things that leads us to consider that hypothesis is that when he rings his friend Lucy and says he's cut himself on a cactus, and he's worried because he doesn't know whether it's poisonous or not. And she tells him not to worry, that it's not poisonous. But for that to happen, you have to leave the road, because you're not going to cut yourself on a cactus being on the road. And he's had to go into the mountains, obviously. Oh, God, it goes on to mention Mark Williams. Yeah, we've read most of that before. What does he say? Oh, so Mark Williams Thomas has been actively speaking to people and amassing private information. Oh, my God, I could say that, couldn't I? So I've got all this information, but, you know, it's private. I just can't share it with the public. I've got all this information about Jay's case. God, he is such a gaslighter. Mark Williams, honestly, he's an awful man. I think. I didn't think much of him before, but it's just getting worse and worse now. Because once you see through someone like that, you can't ever, you know, I just feel like I can't ever go. But I used to think, you know, that he was okay. I stopped thinking that he was okay with the Oscar Pistorius thing. It wasn't anything to do with Nicola Bulley. The day he turned around and said he thought Oscar, because he's writing a book about Oscar Pistorius, he was there with him and he was probably being paid or whatever he was doing or getting publicity or whatever he does. And he made that tweet saying that Oscar Pistorius was innocent. I've never had any time for him since then. It wasn't to do with Nicola Bulley. But then once you start seeing what sort of person he is, like that just brought it home to me. I can't see him in any other light now. And I'm trying to sort of think, oh, well, maybe he might be able to help. But I'm just finding it so difficult. And then these statements that he comes out with, you know, like, oh, yes, he's amassing this private information. Just makes everything worse for me. So he was sharing updates on Sunday evening after Spanish authorities suspended the physical search, and he commented, although the police search in the mountains and around Masca has concluded, the police investigation into Jay Slater's disappearance remains ongoing. You know, he's just saying what everybody knows. There is nothing that Mark Williams Thomas has said since he went out to Tenerife. There's nothing he has said that I didn't already know before he said it. You know, he's just picking up things off social media just like everybody else is. Like the nickname of one of the men. We already knew that they left Tenerife. We knew that. We knew all that anyway. He's just an awful man because he's just trying to aggrandicize, I don't know if that's the right word, himself. It's nothing to do with Jay. It's nothing to do with the family. It's all about him and his publicity. And the same with Ireland. I'm starting to feel it with Paul as well. And, you know, don't want to feel those things, but it's just all gone weird, hasn't it? You know, and you just think, what about Paul Arnott could have got over the wall, couldn't he? Because he's a mountaineering expert. No, but he's got no ropes or anything. He left them all behind, didn't he? He left all his gear behind. And he never answered me because, you know, when I first started watching his videos, and that first video I was watching, he was saying, oh, I just need some ropes, guys. You know, because I've got this bit in these places where you can put ropes and hooks and things, but I haven't brought my gear with me, guys. I'm looking for somewhere to rent them, guys. It's complete madness. It's complete madness, guys. And I messaged him. I private messaged him and messaged him on his chat. I looked up the places in Tenerife you could rent mountaineering gear and sent him the links. He never even acknowledged them, so he can get stuffed. I was trying to help him. He didn't really want any help. I don't think he wants to go down all them crevices and things. I don't think he is experienced in that. Might be experienced in Snowdonia or, I don't know, living in a tent in the woods or whatever he does. But I don't think he is experienced going down crevices and fissures and that with ropes and stuff like that. That's dangerous stuff. So, yeah, he never even acknowledged, didn't even say, oh, thanks. You know, thanks for sending me that link. So, just like he blanked me, like he blanked Mark Williams Thomas. I was trying to help. Said he wanted somewhere where he could rent them. I looked up all the places in Tenerife he could rent them. €6 for ropes. And, you know, hey. The chihuahua's out. Shut up, Rocky. Ah, dear me. Just couldn't make this up. So he could have helped Humpty Dumpty to get over Plumpty Dumpty to get over that wall. He could have borrowed him his ropes, or well, he hasn't got any. Well, he said he'd left him at home, but I bet he hasn't got any, really. Why would he leave him at home when he was going out to a mountain area to help find someone? Who surely he should have taken his ropes. They're not exactly that heavy, are they, in that? I don't know. Yeah, no, he never answered me, Annie. Never even acknowledged the fact that I sent him a message. You know, not even, oh, I'm sorted now, thank you. Nothing. No, nada. So I don't believe he really wanted to rent those things. He still hasn't rented them. So I just think it's just all show, you know, saying, oh yeah, if only I had my ropes, I'd be down there. Yeah, I don't believe he does want them, or, you know, because I don't believe he's capable of doing it personally now. I'm just going to check on his CVs. Oh no, he's not made any more posts, you know. So him and Isla are probably, you know, all tucked up in bed. No, I shouldn't say that. They're probably all lovey-dovey now and chatting and what they're gonna stage tomorrow. Oh, because one of the interviews she did was definitely staged. She said, "Oh, you can see over there the TikToker Paul Arnott. He's searching." It was just so staged. But anyway, I'm learning a lot about you just can't take these people seriously at all. And once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. Right, I think that's it for tonight. Glad you enjoyed the new Welcome to the Family song for Tuesday nights. That will always cheer us up. That's as I say, you know, parts of this video I'll be dividing it up in smaller ones, and well, I'll make this whole video available to the other members. Just the live is not available to them for the Thursday, but I'll make the video available to them first because they are members also, and then I will sort of probably chop it up and put out bits of it. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm a bit tired, so I don't know if I can be bothered. Oh, I'm going to go to bed and do a video from the bed. Oh, I'm just so tired. Oh, sorry. Oh, look at the state of me. And here I am in bed. Oh, I was just so tired. I can't lift my head off the pillow, but I thought I'd do a TikTok video. God, I'm going to start doing that. Do you think I'd then get 102, however many thousand views you got? Yeah. Yeah, the more you watch of Paul. At first, he came over. You know, it's like, oh, this is great, and it has been good having the, you know, the footage of the area. But it's always the same area. He's always walking down the road. He's not actually looking in the bushes and, you know, looking where Jay might be and going into the difficult parts. Because he's got no ropes, and you know, and he hasn't rented any, obviously, unless he turns up with some tomorrow. Maybe Isla's taking him some ropes over. But yeah, it is, and it's just him walking and whinging. The whinging. So Isla's picked that Isla and him both just whinge all the time, don't they? Just so we'll see. But we'll see. I still, my philosophy is that I think Jay will be found by a hiker. You know, it'd be busy now. July, August, there'll be a lot of Spanish people hiking in that area. Oh, there's Rocky. You could just see Rocky's tail there. There'll be a lot of people, you know, it'd be popular time for hiking. People will be going on holiday. You know, there's a lot of Spanish people will be, not only British people. The British people will all be in Los Cristianos in the bars and that, and the Spanish people will be on the mountain. And my personal opinion is one of them will find him just by accident. So I hope so. Yeah, I'm going to do a bedroom live, but bed light. I've got to be lying in bed in a dark room, like no makeup on and that light. You know, oh God, I'm so tired, guys. Oh, you know, just exhausted. Don't send me any AI stuff. Don't send me any. What? Honestly, what load of rubbish. That's a professional journalist for you. Good God. No, is it because they're realizing that, nobody's watching the mainstream media anymore? So they're thinking, oh, they've got to be TikTokers now to get any views at all. Maybe that's what's behind it. Now that noise you can hear, that's my Rocky, little Rocky. He's got a plastic bottle and he's chewing it. He likes plastic bottles. You don't have to spend money on expensive dog toys in my house, Once I've finished this, I give him the empty bottle. He's hours of fun with it. Gets the lid off, and then he chews it. Gets the paper thing off. Gets the lid off, which is more than I can do at the moment. And then he crushes it all down and plays with it for a few days. Okay. Well, I'll be back tomorrow at some point. I'm sure there'll be some other mad rubbish going on. And as I said, I do want to get back to some of the cases that have been covered. I've got more things to say about Madeleine Soto, the case I've been covering, and Micah Miller, and, the thing is, I probably won't have much time to do much because I haven't even gone, God, I've just realised I haven't even shown you. I just want to show you Andrew Snowden's. Where am I going with this? Somebody said, one of my chatters who lives in Fylde, Andrew Snowden, who's the previous crime commissioner at the time of the Nicola Bulley case. Well, of course, he's standing for MP now in Fylde. And one of my chatters lives in that constituency, and she sent me his what do you call it? She sent me his leaflet. His God, I bet I won't be able to find it now. Just so tired. I'm just so tired. I am tired actually. Yeah, she sent me, I thought I put them in a little folder somewhere. I did put them in a little folder somewhere, but of course now I can't find the folder. That's the problem sometimes if I'm too organised. No, can't find it. Let me try again. Try somewhere. No, I'm going to have to do that. Well, I'm going to have to do it tomorrow because there's only one day before the elections. So I'm really looking forward to the elections. I cannot wait till Friday morning. So I will be on live. I don't know what I'm going to do about the members live on Thursday because I'm going to have to sleep earlier on in the evening because I want to be covering the election from when, results start coming in from like probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock. Not decided what time I'm going to go live yet, but I'm going to be live for all the results coming in. I cannot wait. So that's something to look forward to. Only 2 more sleeps, isn't it? Tuesday, Wednesday, till the election, yeah. So I hope you're all going to vote, whoever you vote for. I don't mind who you vote for, of course. And if you don't think you know who to vote for, just go along, spoil your ballot paper and make a protest. Don't not vote at all because it's important to participate if you can. A night off. I can't have a members' night off on Thursday. I'm talking about. So Thursday night, I might do a short members, like at about 8 o'clock, just for now, just to build up to the election. Then I'll go to bed and then I'll get back up. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. Or maybe I'll do it from bed like Isla. Shall I do the election special from bed? No, I couldn't do a video from bed because I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. I can't put I won't be able to show anything, or I'd be falling asleep. Exactly, Heather, especially if you're a woman, should vote. People died to give us a vote. Not only women, but working class people. You know, in that long ago where they didn't have a vote. So it's important to vote. Can't wait. I literally cannot wait. Really looking forward to it. Okay, so I'm just waffling now, aren't I? So thanks so much. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thank you for being Carry On Chatting members. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.